Hello Smith High School students, it's Mr. Reece. I'm back in the workshop. Hopefully you didn't have any damage from last night's storm. And today we're going to be making a straight through cable. And you will recall that this is called a Cat 6 cable. And this connector is called an RJ45 connector. Inside of this cable there are 8 wires. We're going to have to strip off some insulation, separate the wires, cut them to the appropriate length, and then slide the connector on there. Once the connector's in place, we're going to squeeze it with the crimping tool, and that's going to cause the teeth in the end of that connector to bite down on the wires and make a good connection. And in order for this cable to be useful, I've got to connect 2 terminals, one at each end. And the reason I'm making this cable is because I'm going to be hooking up an additional computer in my workshop tomorrow that I'm going to try to use to make these videos. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the crimping tool, and we've got this razor blade right here, and we have a spot in the tool where I'm going to lay the wire. And I've squeezed it to where the razor blade is touching the insulation. And now I'm going to turn the wire in the tool. And what that does is it scores the insulation and allows the insulation to be pulled out. So what we're looking at now is 4 pairs of wires inside the cable. And now I'm going to separate the wires. We have this piece of string and we have this backbone or separator in the middle of the cable, and we're going to cut those out using a pair of scissors. So now we've got all of the wires separated, and what we need to do now is untwist the wires. Now this type of cabling is called twisted pair cabling. And one of the features of twisted pair cabling is that each pair is twisted at a different rate. If you look carefully, you can see that the white orange is twisted tighter than the white blue or the white brown. So each pair of these wires is twisted at a slightly different rate, and that helps reduce electrical noise inside the cable. So here we go. I've got the first 2 pairs untwisted. Third pair is untwisted. And I'm getting the last pair untwisted now. Now I would like to think that anybody from my second or third block who's watching this video remembers the wiring order. And that wiring order starts off white orange followed by orange. And what I'm doing is I'm just pulling each one of these cables where it's straight to get all the twist out of it. So I got white orange orange, I've got white green, and then I need to pull blue around here. So white, orange, orange, white, green, blue, white, blue, green, white, brown, and brown. So at this moment, I've got all of my wires in order. And now I need to pull them close together. So I'm going to bend them back and forth. That is pretty much the way I want it to look. Now I've got about 3/4 of an inch of wire coming out from the blue insulation. I want to cut that. Using the crimping tool, the side that has 1 razor blade, I'm going to bring that in here. I'm going to squeeze down on it. and it just cut all those wires off. Here I've got the RJ45 connector. Now I'm holding this in my left hand, and white-orange is on the left. The connector, the little clip, I have it facing toward the ground. Now I'm going to slide all these wires inside the connector. And I'm going to squeeze it in there as tightly as I can. There's a couple things I'm looking for when I do this. Number one is I want the wires to go all the way to the end of the connector. And when I look at it, I can see that all of my wires do make it to the end of the connector. Next thing I want to check is my insulation far enough in there? And I can see the blue part goes in there, and it goes far enough that this is acceptable. Next thing I need to do is check my wire order. Should be white orange orange, white green blue, white blue green, white brown brown. My order looks good. So now I'm ready to take this wire and put it in this spot right here, and then I'm going to crimp it, and then I'll let go. What just happened is the teeth in the end of the connector have been pushed down into the wires, and it bites into the wires. I cannot pull this connector off. It's on there. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, I would have to cut it off and start all over again. These connectors can only be used one time. If you'll remember from making these in class, how we had some issues with that. So, am I finished? No. I actually have to do the other end of the wire. But since you've already seen one side, and this side's exactly the same as that one, I'm going to say this video is about done. So, after I turn off the video, I'm going to be adding another connector to this and then hooking up a computer. And tomorrow I will be going to retrieve a 3D printer and a computer from school, so I can actually add some more capacity to these videos, and we can do some more cool stuff. What I would like for you to do is go look at today's date under assignments, and I'm going to have some questions about what I did just now, and I'd like for you to respond to those questions in the discussion thread. So find the question, answer the questions in the discussion thread, and hey, that's an assignment for today, which should be April 14th. So, I miss you guys. I want you to be safe, wash your hands, and I'm going to try to get more and more of these videos going. It feels weird to be talking to you with you not here, but please try to log in, do your work, and maybe we can come back together at some point. So, goodbye for today. Peace out, Smith Eagles.